Hello and welcome to Happy Horror Time. My name is Tim Murdoch.
And my name is Matt Emmert. Now, today's special guest starred as journalist Vanessa Shepherd in House LLC III Lake of Fire, and just reprised this role to lead the fifth installment of the series, House LLC Lineage. Not only was this the first film in the franchise to get a theatrical release back in August, but it also is the first to switch from found footage to a traditional narrative format. Now, poor Vanessa is in a very different mindset in this film, so we can't wait to talk all about this pivotal character with the actors who portrayed her. And if you happen to miss Lineage in theaters, it just released on Shudder on October 30th, so you can catch it there. Please welcome to the podcast, Elizabeth Vermilyea.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yes, we're so happy to have you here. Now, before we jump into the Hell House movies, we'd love to know more about your background. Like, where are you originally from and how did you first become interested in acting?
I'm from Storrs, Connecticut, little town in Connecticut. And I started off like most actors. I just did school plays. I did my first one when I was 5 or 6, I think. And then I just kept on doing it from there. I was a really shy kid. So I really loved being able to be different characters in the plays and like getting to be people who were not shy. And there were words there for you in the script because I often found trouble, finding the words to like talk to people in real life because I was so shy. So I did a bunch of school plays and then I went to a performing arts high school in Hartford, Connecticut. And then I went to college for it and I studied in the city for a while. And it was always just something that I really wanted to do.
Well, I mean, you're talking to two theater guys, so we totally...
Did you do any musicals?
I did, yeah. I was in Fiddler on the Roof a couple times. I was in Oklahoma. I was in this very weird, silly musical version of A Midsummer Night's Dream that was modernized and took place in a like casino in Las Vegas. Yes.
That dialogue is not easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then singing and everything. Yeah, it was Hermia, I think, in that one.
Wow.
Yes, I did a lot of musicals back then. I didn't really keep up with it once I got older, but yeah.
And growing up, were you a fan of horror films? Did any make an impact on you?
Yeah, I think the first horror film that I saw was when I was probably way too young to be seeing it. I believe it was Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare.
Oh, fun.
I think that's the one with the scene where the grandmother twists the Q-tip into the guy's ear.
Yes.
I remember that scene really freaking me out and staying with me. And I don't know. There's just something so fun about being scared. I really do love horror movies.
That is such
We've
a great
never
answer.
had that.
We ask that to everyone. And, we get The Exorcist all the time. We get like some of them, the like Psycho and the classics and stuff. We have never gotten Freddy's Dead.
I know, but she picked the most disturbing scene in that film.
Yeah, it's a harsh scene to watch. Yeah, it's not exactly a classic, I guess.
What? No. You mean
In its own way.
the Final Nightmare, then that spawned multiple other movies. But yes, exactly. We're quite familiar with that movie and all of the. We're big fans of the slasher series. Like I'm a huge Halloween fan. Tim's a huge Friday the 13th fan. And we love the Nightmare on Elm Street fan. So we're quite familiar with that installment.
Yeah, it's a good one.
So before starring in Hell House 3, we noticed on your IMDb page that you did an episode on 3 different true crime TV series. Evil Lives Here, Evil Talks, Chilling Confessions, and Shattered. So I wanted to know now, on these shows, were you portraying like real people in dramatizations, or what did the roles entail?
Yeah, the first one I did, I was the wife of a serial rapist, is how he started, and then he started murdering his victims. I believe he's still alive in jail serving a life sentence. I don't remember the name of him. He was the Craigslist killer, I think.
Yeah, I remember the Craigslist killer.
Yeah. So I was his wife, and she was actually on the show, like narrating, doing an interview, and then I was doing the scenes as her. That was pretty cool and crazy and that was my first time being on TV, getting to, see myself on the screen and everything. So that was really cool. And then I was also a prostitute who gets strangled. And another one, I think my husband got murdered by someone
These are some
in the
intense
third
first
one.
roles.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Was it just a coincidence that you happen to do three shows like this, or is there like a community of people that do true crime that they're like, hey, let's have her back, kind of thing?
I think it's living locally to where they shoot them a lot in New Jersey and in the New York, area. And once you're on the radar of the casting director, I think they kind of like, oh, we liked her in this, we can use her for something else, that sort of thing. But yeah, and that was like the only stuff on my reel for a while. So I think that's why I kind of ended up getting horror and more like serious stuff based off of that, because it was like me screaming and getting slapped in the face and stuff on my reel. So
Oh, you're like, I'm ready for the romantic comedy.
Yeah.
Like, here's my
yeah,
reel.
yeah, you don't really get that from what I was showing. But yeah.
Wow, but that's intense. Look, I'll say this: like to start doing intense stuff like that. I mean, it's like I feel like, if number one, like you said, it prepares you for horror, and it shows that you can do like a large range of emotions. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're really fun. I mean, they're quick, but it's like making like a tiny little short film when you're shooting it. Yeah, it's a lot of fun to film those things.
So moving on to Hell House LLC 3 Lake of Fire, how did you get involved with this project, and what was the audition process like for the role of Vanessa Shepherd?
Yeah, so it was just a listing on Backstage that I applied for. I think it said that it was the third movie in a horror trilogy, but it didn't say the name of it, I don't think. So I just applied for it, and they asked me to do an audition, which was just a self-tape that I sent to them. I got a call back where I got to meet them. I think it was Steven and Joe and somebody else there at it. And yeah, so we went through the scene, and then they had me do like some improv as Vanessa, and they were asking me questions. And then the third callback, Gabriel, who plays Russell in it, was already cast. So he was just doing like chemistry reads with different actresses. So I came in and improved with him for a while. I think it was us having like a fight. Like he didn't want me filming at the actual like event, the Insomnia night, and I was trying to convince him that I should be there. And yeah, it felt like really good and like we had like a good vibe going on. And then I got the part, and that's how that went.
And prior to audition, have you heard of the Hell House series, or did you happen to see them?
No, I hadn't heard of them. After when I got the first callback, I knew what the title of it was and everything. So I went and I watched the first Hell House movie, and it was so scary. Like really so scary. I had to take breaks while I was watching it, and like I watched like a sitcom for a little bit, and then I went back to it because just the whole vibe of it, like even if nothing was happening, like it felt like eerie and uncomfortable. So yeah, but I really, really liked it. And so I was really excited to like possibly be able to be in the third one. It was really great.
Yeah.
We've told this story before, but we stumbled upon the first Hell House LLC. But well, I mean, obviously we do this podcast, we watch horror all the time, and we were just like looking for a new horror movie that was streaming. This is, years and years ago. And we're like, oh, found footage. Okay. Well, and we didn't expect it to be as scary as it was when we were both just like fully engrossed in it.
And like you, afterwards, I think we watched a Golden Girls episode just to clean our palate. We're just like,
That's a good one to watch.
we actually went to your true crime shows just,
yeah,
just to relax.
we're like hilarious.
We're like, no. Yeah, it is one of those films that really gets under your skin. And like we knew, I remember right after we watched it, I was like, I have to search for this like director. And like, I remember searching for Stephen Cognetti on like Twitter. And because I'm like, there has to be a sequel. There's more to this. And what do you know? 4 films later.
Yeah.
Well, and Lake of Fire was your first feature film, correct?
Yes.
So how did you feel about making your film debut in the horror genre?
I felt really excited about it. It was really cool. And also, there were 2 films obviously at that point. And so like it already had a fan base. Like you knew that people were going to be excited about it and definitely going to watch it. And it wasn't just like, my mom watching me in TV episode where I'm getting murdered. Um, so yeah, it was really exciting. I was really nervous about it, but it was really cool. And yeah, and they continue to be this really awesome fan base watching all the movies and being really supportive. So it's really cool.
It has got
There
huge.
was a really comedic moment in the third one when the girl, I think her name's Isabel, says like, "Oh, can we hashtag it MM?" And you're like, "No, no, let's be clear." Like I thought all that stuff was so
It's
funny.
morning mystery.
Yeah, you're like, "No, we to clarify, it's morning mystery."
yeah, MM. I know. No.
Yeah, we don't want it to be vague and mysterious. We'd like people to know what they're searching. Yes.
I was laughing.
Yeah.
I was like, "This is so funny."
Yeah.
So in Hell House 3, your character is filming a documentary on billionaire Russell Wynn's interactive show Insomnia, which is being run at the Abaddon Hotel. And funny enough, your character, Vanessa, seems to be like the only character in this film who's actually hesitant about even stepping foot in this location where so many people have disappeared. Like everyone else is just like, what? Who cares?
Yeah.
What similarities did you find between yourself and this character when preparing for this role? And how are you and Vanessa different?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of similarities. I mean, she's in a field where it's a lot of men, and she's kind of trying to make her way in it. She has a lot of ambitions. She's there for a purpose. I mean, part of the thing with found footage is like, why do they stay there after things start getting creepy? I thought it was very believable in this that like she can't go to her boss and say like, I had a scary ghost thing happen, so I'm just gonna leave. Like it's, she has to stay there. It's for a career. It's like she's proving herself. And yeah, I think there's similarities with that and with acting and, the same ambition and the same trying to prove yourself and trying to get roles. And yeah, so there was definitely a lot of similarities there. I don't think I would stay under any circumstances after, I have that scare scene where I'm going through with the camera and I see like that zombie thing. I think I would have been out at that point. So that's a little bit of a difference. But yeah, I really liked her as a character and I thought she was really grounded in reality and someone like that the audience could relate to of how they might react in those situations. Like, I don't think it's safe to be here, but I'm trying to do my job, but and it doesn't end up going very well.
It was funny because I was like, Matt and I always say, like, why don't they just leave? Why don't they just leave? But then you did cut to in the cars and you're like, I can't quit. So I was like, oh, she's answering all my questions.
Yeah. And I'm glad that you addressed that because I was actually going to ask you because it's like your character, she sees an actual ghost of one of like the former people who was killed there. And, Russell literally the night before tells her like not to come. And for some reason I didn't even think about, but yes, like your job is on the line. Like you can't just not finish this documentary or this thing you just took over as the host. But I'm always like thinking, I guess I forget that in real life, people do a lot of things they don't want to do for their careers or just for something else because it's easy to be the person in the background saying, I would never stay, but like, you never know.
Well, when she walked in and the first thing the lights go out, I was like, me personally, I was like, I'm done.
I'm out.
Yeah. That's it. The end of movie.
Exactly. Well, so Joe Bandelli, the producer of all the Hell House films and a very dear friend of ours, he told us that you are one of the most talented actors that he has ever worked with, which is a huge compliment. And you got to work closely with Joe on Lake of Fire specifically because not only does he play the terrifying Hell House clown, but he also plays your cameraman, Louis. What was it like working alongside Joe as both your cameraman and the clown?
He was the best. He's such a nice person, as you know, just like really supportive, and he's a producer, and so he's there to help you in that way. But he's also, my scene partner. He's also the clown at times, and yeah, it was like such a nice thing to have him there and like being supportive. And it was my first feature film, and I'm one of the leads in it, so it was kind of scary. Yeah, he's just like nothing but awesome and supportive and just like helped me through the process so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I guess you're right. It's like to have as your scene partner, the producer, and someone who knows so much about it. It's like what better person? You have him, you have Steven directing you, and everything. So that's kind of cool. I just thought it's funny because you literally have to see him as your cameraman and then see him as the clown, which is
Yeah.
such such a different sort of
Yeah.
role, you know.
I
I
think
love
because he
Joe.
had a larger role in this one, I don't think he was the clown as much.
Oh yes.
They had other people in the clown suit, but yeah.
We've asked him. It's like I know he has played it on and off in most of the installments. Probably played it more in the fifth one than the third one, but that is true because you actually see him more. I know he's in the first two, but you don't see his face as closely as
Right.
the like in the third one. He's got a good face shot as your cameraman. But
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And you work with Stephen Cognetti, who wrote and directed all the films in the franchise. What was he like as a director?
He's great. There was with it being found footage, there's a lot of opportunity for like improv and kind of seeing what happens in the moment. And that was really great. I mean, he writes all of them, but he's also really open to like any ideas that you might have. He's not like precious about it. And also just like really supportive and kind and like just makes a really great environment for everybody to work in. Yeah, we've worked together 3 times now. And it's always just like a great experience. I love working with Steven.
do you find yourself did you find yourself improvising a lot on either part three or part five, or did you mostly stick to the script, especially part three because it's found footage? Did you find yourself improvising or more staying to the script?
I don't remember too much specifically. Part three, it was definitely like looser. And there were like little moments where we would be able to do that. With Lineage, not so much because it was narrative instead of found footage. And there's a lot of like specificity in the lines that I think mattered for the story and making sure that everything kind of made sense. So not so much on Lineage, no.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay, so spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen part three, and don't worry, we're going to get to Lineage and cover that completely. Just wanted to start with part three, because we are going to ask Elizabeth about the ending now. So if you don't want that spoiled, just giving you the warning now. So in the end of Lake of Fire, after basically the cult members like infiltrate this show and basically massacre everyone during Insomnia's opening night, Vanessa herself gets dragged into the basement, and it looks like, at least what I thought, is that she gets her throat slit. But at the end, we find out that no one actually died because Russell was an angel who interfered and saved everyone. Now, were you surprised by this ending and that you survived? Because most of the main characters in the first two films did not make it.
Yeah, no, not many characters make it. And yeah, it was surprising when I got to the end of the script and saw that we were not dead. I do get my throat slit in the basement, which was a lot of fun getting the makeup put on for that and everything, which you can't really see so much in the movie. Which is a bummer because it looked really awesome. But yeah, so it was cool. And also it left open the possibility of coming back, which was nice.
So when you got your throat slit at that time, did you think you'd be brought back?
I mean, well, then you find out that you survived.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. No, I didn't think that I mean, I thought that was the trilogy and that was going to be all the Hell House movies at the time. And then the Carmichael Manor came out and they went in like a different direction with new characters. So I thought, and I loved it. I thought it was really good. And so I thought any further movies would be in that vein. So I was very surprised that Vanessa was coming back for Lineage. But I thought it was really cool how he brought those two different versions of the movie together and like tied all that with the Carmichael Manor and the Abaddon Hotel.
Yeah, and you're right. I remember when the third one came out, it was kind of like this is the concluding chapter of a trilogy. But that's also what they said about Scream 3. So
Right.
Yeah.
yeah. And speaking of bringing people back for additional films, all 5 of the main stars from the original Hell House LLC returned in Lake of Fire with cameos. Now, you don't have any scenes specifically with them, but did you get to meet them at all or interact with them?
Yeah, we all hung out after the shooting day. It was really cool because I had just watched, the movie that they were in. So it was a little bit like fangirl feeling like, oh my God, you guys are from the original movie. It was really cool. Yeah, and Ryan was my roommate for the night that she was there. So that was really cool. And getting to meet everyone was really awesome. Yeah, we didn't have any of the same shooting days. I wasn't in any scenes with them. So that was too bad. But yeah, everyone was really nice. And it was like a high school reunion for them or something, it seemed like, to be able to be back there again. So yeah, it was really fun.
What I love about all of these films and this series is that Stephen and Joe they bring so much from the past into the present. You know, like in terms of like past characters, past storylines, like everything you see has a reason for being and will come into play at some point. So it's nice to like see some of the people and the fact that it's like you guys have like a little House LLC family at this point. You know, with so many
Yeah.
installments. Now between Lake of Fire and Lineage, you did another supernatural horror film with Stephen Cognetti and Joe Bandelli called 825 Forest Road. Now, even though this film only came out earlier this year, it was filmed a few years ago, correct?
Yeah, it was.
Now, did you have to audition for 825 Forest Road, or was that something they just asked you to do due to your participation in Hell House 3?
Steven emailed me and said he was making a movie. He thought I'd be good for one of the characters, but he wasn't making it on his own. He had other producers who would like to see an audition. So he asked me if I'd be willing to put something on tape, and I was like, of course. So I did audition, but I don't know if they were also auditioning other people for the role of Maria, which is what I ended up playing at the same time or not.
Yeah.
Any fun stories or memories from making 825 Forest Road?
Um, I don't know if it's fun, but we did make it like we were supposed to make it early 2020 and then COVID. So it got delayed like a year and a half, and then we were able to do it, but we still had all these precautions, and I had to wear like one of those plastic, it's like a dog collar with the plastic shield over your face. So we had to wear that anytime we were like rehearsing with our makeup on, and then we would just take it off for the scene. So it was a weird time to make a movie, but also really fun. It was my first job back after that long COVID break. So it was like so much fun. I think we were all like really excited to be back to work. So I had like a really great energy on set.
So you're saying that when you guys do everything but when they're actually shooting the take, you had that like dog collar thing on and you're interacting with people?
Yeah, for like
Wow.
hours. Yeah.
That I guess it's like I don't know. Sometimes I think back at the COVID precautions, and I know like it was like unfamiliar territory, but it's almost like, well, if they're going to spread something, they'll spread it when you guys are doing the actual scene, right? I guess they figured
Yeah.
like
Are we guys far away? Because I watched The Bold and the Beautiful, and the way they filmed this soap is like one person was like way over there, and one person was like way over here. I don't even think they were filming at the same time, and they actually had a kissing scene where a man kissed a mannequin. So they went to
Really?
great lengths, yeah. But everyone was like, "That's not a real person."
did you kiss any mannequins in 825 Forest Row?
I didn't. I had Martha the mannequin close to me a lot, but I never went there with her.
That was
We
funny.
kept it professional.
I remember Martha the mannequin, and I was like, "Oh, I see a little bit of Hell House clownish like tie-ins to it, you know."
Yeah.
But it's funny because I do remember hearing about this film like back years ago when we interviewed Steven, and then took a while. But at the same time, this has been such a big year for him because it came out in April, and then Hell House 5 came out. But okay, so you kind of alluded to this, but so years pass, a fourth Hell House LLC film comes out exploring the Carmichael Manor and basically introducing new characters. And then Stephen Cognetti decides to do a fifth film, Lineage, and bring back Vanessa Shepherd. How did you first find out that Stephen wanted you back, and how did you feel about reprising the role?
He called me and said, I have a new project that I'm working on that I'd like you to be in. And I was like, great. And then he said it was another Hell House. And I was like, what? That's crazy. Um, but yeah, I was really excited. He already knew at that point that it was going to be narrative instead of found footage, and talked a little bit about where Vanessa was at, and she's not doing great, all that, nightmares and a little bit of a drinking problem. And I was like, that sounds really interesting and cool. And so, yeah, I was excited to be a part of it again.
Did you have any reservations not being found footage?
Yeah, I mean, from the second that people heard that it was not going to be found footage, there was a lot of stuff online of people being like, "Well, I'm not even going to watch it now because I don't like movies that aren't found footage," and stuff like that. So I was, like, "Ooh." I mean, any project like this, there's going to be people who like it and people who don't, and you're going to see both of those things.
Mhm.
So yeah, I was a little nervous about like knowing that I'm going to have to try to stay off the internet to a certain extent.
That is so
Yeah.
funny to me. Like, if it's not found footage, I was like,
You're not watching.
99.9% things aren't found footage.
Yeah, you've
I
not
thought
watched,
that was
I think, every Oscar-winning film ever. Like,
You know what? I'm only gonna watch found footage.
only one. No, I mean, it was weird because, to be completely honest, when we first heard it wasn't going to be found footage, we were like, "Wait, what? This is a found footage series." But at the same time, the people who make these films should be respected enough and trusted that they know what they're doing. And if Steven wanted to do a different format for this for the reasons that he had, and you like his work, then you should respect that, you know? And so it's not like the Hell House film. It's not like when he released them, he said, "By the way, everyone, every film I do in this series is going to be found footage." I mean, people were just used to it. But when you look at so many horror franchises, how many times did they change
Yeah,
like
there's like
the
3D
formula?
or like a character change, like from Patricia Arquette to Tuesday Night.
Or like in Friday the 13th, when suddenly Jason is a weird thing that you can transfer between people, and
Right.
Jason goes to hell. Like, you can
Yeah.
change the format all the time. Or in Freddy's Dead, your favorite horror movie. No, no.
She's like, I didn't say it was my
Yeah,
favorite.
yeah, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Okay, so when we're reintroduced to Vanessa and Lineage, she seems pretty broken. Did you and Steven, and it sounds like he did, but talk a lot about where your character would be at this point in the story? Like, do you think that she stopped being a journalist right after the events of Lake of Fire?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, it wasn't only that these horrible events took place. There was also the moment where she outed her source, something that he told her off the record, she said. So like her journalistic integrity was kind of ruined, as well as this crazy, people came back from the dead. That's like a weird thing to have on your bio from that point on when you do stuff. Um, so yeah, so I feel like everything, her ambition, everything she was reaching towards, the life that she wanted, is like over. So that's a lot to go through. So I think she kind of was dealing with that, trying to put together some sort of new life, new goals, and then these nightmares start happening to her, and she's like pulled back into all that Abaddon stuff.
Did when Steven introduces to you, did he have everything laid out for like where Vanessa's been and what she was up to, or was it more like collaborative between you two?
It was pretty well laid out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no,
It
that
was
makes
it was
sense.
all kind of there to start with, and then yeah, my job was just kind of making it make sense to me.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, it was everything was there in the script already.
I always imagine like Steven, because there's so much lore in this franchise, like having like a murder board, but like a Hell House LLC board, and like everyone who's connected with like yarn and
Yeah,
things.
I could
Yeah,
see
he
that.
has to, right?
I mean, would you not keep like, I mean, it's the amount of characters and the connections, like there's got to be some sort of Bible or notebook.
Yeah, I mean, all the funny characters from part three, I thought it was the most comedic one. I mean, it's also scary, but all the characters were like, because I think you're the one that says it's kind of like The Office, or someone compares it to The Office, right?
Yeah, I think you say
Yeah.
that when the way they're going to be filming them each
Yeah.
themselves is
Drink them
Yeah,
all
we're like
back.
the background crew
Yeah.
catching stuff. But yeah, there were a lot of really funny characters in that one. That one was really fun.
So did you do, and I assume that you did, but do any different sort of preparation to play Vanessa this time? And did you find it more challenging because she was in such a fragile state?
Yeah, I definitely did prep just in, I think I still had my old notebooks from when I did Lake of Fire, and kind of figuring out, everything that I had for her as a character then, and then everything that was in the script that's like a fact about her now, and then like bridging that gap, trying to make the period in between make sense for how she's gotten to this point, was really helpful for, informing how I would play the character in a way that made sense for her. I don't know. I don't find emotional sad stuff that challenging. Um, I don't know. Maybe I'm just sad or something.
I mean, no. I mean, that's good. It's just funny because there's been so
Yeah.
much with films and horror films now having so many sequels and legacy sequels and requels and all of that stuff. Like trauma is such a common thing that is actually explored in horror today. Whereas, in the past, we rarely like really focused on what's the victim feeling right now after
we
they
didn't concentrate on feelings. They were just like, oh my gosh, I'm in a canoe and there's someone chasing me.
yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah, but it's like now, and I feel like as an actor, it must be give you so much more meat to play with and stuff to like. I kind of feel like it'd be maybe more fun playing her in part five because she's so messed up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot of fun. And I think that's something Steven really likes to do is kind of go into the psychology and the trauma stuff with 825 as well. That one was very heavily into all of that. So yeah, it's really fun and it like I don't know, it informs the scares more, I think. You're already in this fragile state. And then this clown is coming at you on top of it. And yeah, it's really fun.
So, we've talked a lot about how this film is the first in the Hell House series to not be found footage. In what ways do you find it easier, and in what ways is it more challenging to make a traditional narrative film versus a found footage film?
Um, well, the found footage goes much quicker. There's one camera angle, it's not extensive lights and everything. The setups are much quicker. And so it just flies by. I mean, we did the other movies, I think it was like a week and a half, 2 weeks or something
Oh,
for
wow.
Lake of Fire. So this one, obviously, there's more to it with camera angles and with everything, and shooting things from my perspective and the other characters, and then you get a two shot of them. It just takes longer. It's also really cool though, because you get to disappear into the character a little bit more. I feel like. I mean, obviously, if you're doing found footage, the characters are aware that they're being filmed in the moment. So there's a level of self-consciousness to that as the actor and the character. With this, you just kind of tune everything out, pretend it's not there, and go through the scene. So it's really different. They're both really fun in different ways. But
That
yeah,
may that makes sense. I never even thought about, but like you're right. Like found footage, they're literally playing to the camera because they know they're being filmed. Versus in
yeah,
a traditional film, you have to pretend the camera doesn't exist because you
Mhm.
don't want to be caught, as we've seen in some
Yeah.
old horror movies, looking at the camera.
yeah,
As someone, I don't even know if I should say this, but I'm going to say it.
Say it.
I never act natural if there's a camera on me. Like when I was a kid, I was like, I have to perform.
yeah,
But I think that kind of plays into some of the characters in like Lake of Fire versus Lineage, like the whole comedic, they're acting for the camera
Right.
versus there's no camera in a traditional format. So yeah, nothing to act for, I guess.
And you come
Mhm.
in contact with the Hell House clown a lot in this film. Did you ever get truly creeped out by Joe in that clown suit, especially when he's right behind you in the drive-in?
yeah. I don't get that creeped out when it's Joe in the clown suit. There is one scene where I'm coming out of a closet. I've hidden in the closet, and then I'm coming out of it later, and there's a quick shot of the clown behind me while I'm in the closet, and that was just the mannequin. And I had to be there in the dark with that mannequin behind me and I didn't like that at all. Um, when it's just a mannequin with that clown face on, it's like really creeped me out. Yeah.
Wow. I
I've
get
always,
that.
I've always wondered this because like across all of the films, like how often it was a mannequin versus a person in the suit. In your two films, how often was the clown a mannequin versus a person in the suit?
Mostly it was a person. Mostly it was Joe in it. Really just like shots where it's far away, or like, hiding in a closet behind me where you're not going to notice because it looks a little funky, and kind of like wobbly, I think, if there's not an actual person in it. But yeah, so mostly it was Joe in that suit.
And, props to Joe and everyone who played the clown because, like, I can't tell when, I mean, obviously, when you see them moving, it's someone in there. But, like, there are so many parts where I'm just like, okay, this looks like a mannequin, but is it a person? Is it what? Like you can't actually tell. And that's props to the people who are, like, remaining still, but still being incredibly scary. One of my favorite scenes in Lineage is when you're on the side of the bed and the clown looks over the side at you, just because we're so conditioned in horror films to see the hero, kind of peer over the side of the bed at something versus the villain. Did you have a favorite scene in Lineage to film, either because you just really enjoyed doing it or because of how it turned out?
That scene in the bed was actually really fun because it looks really scary in the film, but it actually looked completely ridiculous when we were shooting it too, because it was like, I think it was the mannequin for a lot of it, and it's just hovering on top of the bed, like with stuff stacked up underneath it, and it's like Supermaning over the bed. That one was pretty funny and silly for the behind the scenes stuff versus how scary it looked in the actual film.
I totally jumped.
Yeah, like and the drive-in scene and because you said that wasn't as scary, but first off, were you at a drive-in or was that screen like superimposed? Was that an actual drive-in theater you were at?
It was an actual drive-in.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. And then obviously the footage comes later of the Carmichael girl talking to you. And then, but the clown was actually in the back seat of that car, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. But so it's like between takes, are you and Joe just like, hey, how's it going? Like,
it was so cold and we were so tired. I think we were just like waiting there, like shivering in the car, waiting for them to say action.
What movie was playing on the screen?
The beginning of that movie was just like random shots of stuff that they could show because they didn't want to deal with like copyright stuff.
Totally. Yeah.
And then it switched to the spooky footage, which I could see, but there was no audio. So they let me know when I was supposed to be woken up by it and see all that.
Got it. Okay. So major spoiler alert right now, since we're going to talk about the ending of Lineage. And if you haven't seen this film yet, because it is new and you don't want the ending spoiled, please go check it out on Shudder and then return to this part of the interview because we are going to ask about a lot of specifics in the ending. There's a lot to unpack in the ending of this film because at first, we find out that everyone in their lineage that's related to the car accident that killed Margaret Carmichael is being killed. And at the beginning, the only connection we kind of know that Vanessa has is her soon-to-be ex-husband's dad was involved. But then we find out that her mother was a woman who worked at the Abaddon Hotel named Beverly, and Vanessa's long-lost twin is, wait for it, Mitchell Cavanaugh from the second movie. Now, first off, did I get all that right?
Yes, I believe you did.
Oh my God. Okay.
I couldn't do it.
Secondly, what was your reaction to learning all these new facts about your character?
I was like, what? Really? Yeah, I had no idea. So I did, as soon as I read that part in the script where it says something about my mom or twin, I remembered the moment, which is really quick in the Carmichael manner. They find like a note in a clock or something, and it says Beverly, something to do with that. And I was like, oh, that's who that was talking about. So, yeah, so I have a much deeper connection with the Abaddon and everything than I realized, and it's been fated to drag me back into it this entire time.
It's funny because I've got to know, when Stephen was presenting this film to you, did he reveal all that at the beginning, like what your whole connection was, or did you just find that out when you read the script?
I think I just found it out when I read the script.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think he said anything about it. So it was a surprise as I was reading it.
Yeah,
which is really cool.
It's good. People who know this series remember all of these characters and things like that and know, and it's cool to kind of have connections because otherwise, some of these characters you don't hear much about, but and like we loved seeing the girls from the Carmichael Manor in this, and you kind of connect to them. It kind of like brings everything back. Okay, this film is being billed as the final entry in the Hell House series, but that ending, it kind of seemed to open more doors and close them. And although Stephen Cognetti said he's no longer going to make more Hell House films, he also mentioned in an interview that we read that he's outlined what would come next from a story perspective. So my question is, has Stephen talked to you at all about what he had the idea for what would come next?
No, he never told me. I do think that it was originally possibly going to be like a two-parter, but then decided that he was kind of okay just ending it on this kind of note and of uncertainty. I don't know where the story was going to go after that, if it was going to, or if it will someday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think there'll be another Hell House film? And would you be up for playing Vanessa again?
I don't know. I mean, it seemed pretty sure that Steven is feels like this was the end of it. So I don't know if it could happen with like another director or something other else. Or there could be another Hell House film that he does that's like a totally different story plot line or something that doesn't do this. If it did happen, I would of course be totally open to it. And I think there's a lot of places Vanessa could go from where the movie ended on this one. So yeah, who knows what'll happen?
And most importantly, did your ex-husband sign those divorce papers?
No, it was her that didn't sign the
Doesn't need
paper.
to now.
Right.
Right.
I just want to know this really quick. So he's obviously has moved on, and there's like a blonde girl that like touches his arm before she goes down the stairs.
Mhm.
Now there's like a close up on him. Did she kiss him? Because it looks like there's a little bit of lipstick on his face. And I just want to know, is that like a detail?
I don't know. I wasn't there for that filming day. I saw it though, and I was like, "Oh man,
Yeah.
what's happening with my ex-husband?"
I know.
But
I thought it
no,
was
and I
kissing that
actually,
girl.
I had a couple days off when he came in to do filming his scene, so I've actually never met my husband in the film.
Awkward for you.
That is funny.
Yeah.
That is funny because all your scenes are on the phone, so that's
Yeah.
true. Well, oh my God, that's so funny. You never met
You
the
never
guy.
met your
No.
Never met him. Yeah. Well, and I totally get it. It's almost like if there was another Hell House LLC film, but Steven and Joe weren't involved, that would be kind of weird. But
Yes,
like,
they're so like a part of it. I don't even really know like what that would look like or anything.
yeah,
But I mean, never say never to anything. But,
exactly.
yeah.
Never
Matt
say
and you
never.
will take over.
Yeah, and we'll take over. Look, but
Great.
let's just ask you this: if there is another Hell House film, and let's say Steven and Joe are part of it, what would you like to see explored in it?
I think from where it left off, I think Vanessa kind of starts the movie in a really dark place, and it makes her a little bit like more passive, and she doesn't want to be involved. I think by the end of the movie, she's really kind of like accepted everything that's happened and wants to solve the mystery and end all of this generational trauma and stuff. So I think that she would definitely be more proactive in trying to find the lonely house and all that sort of stuff and like end the mystery and have like some sort of final epic end scene between her and Andrew Tully.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
some
true. I
fight
mean,
sequences.
that would
That'd
be
be
good.
cool.
I would love to see sequences. I would love to see Vanessa happy.
I was hoping you'd
Yeah.
marry the bartender.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
I mean, before he shot himself.
Oh,
Yeah.
wasn't he very young? It's very young, I think.
He was a little bit young for Vanessa slash me. Yeah.
I think that's a little young.
think
I
so.
think Tim wanted to marry the bartender.
That'll cheer you up.
I know.
Sure.
Sad, and it was a very dark end to his character, but it was dark end for years. So I would love to see Vanessa happy. But you're right; it'd be great to have. We haven't gotten many final confrontations with Andrew Tully. I know Russell in the third film sort of had a confrontation, but there was so much fire on the screen you couldn't really see it. So yes, let's get like a big confrontation, or maybe Steven, if you're listening, let's have like all of the people affected, get every former cast member, and they all together like fight
Come
Andrew
out of the
Tully.
lake of fire.
I mean, let's
Like
get
that
like
Marvel movie where everyone's
the
fighting in
Avengers.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna do with Vanessa leading it because she's the only one alive. Okay, so we mentioned that Lineage was the first Hell House film to get a theatrical release. How did you feel when you found out it would be playing in theaters? And was there any sort of premiere for Lineage that you got to attend before it was in theaters?
No, we did not have a premiere with just us, but no, I found out a few months, I think, before it was going to happen. And yeah, it was so exciting and so cool. I know they wanted to do one for the Carmichael Manor, which ended up not working out. So yeah, it was so cool to like see all the posts of people going to see it and, their states, across the country. And yeah, it was really fun. There was actually a couple fans who were at Midsummer Scream, which I went to, and they lived in Connecticut. And we found out that they lived really close by to where I was going to go see it with my dad in like my hometown theater. And they were there when I went home to see it. So it was really fun.
Not in like a creepy way stalking you.
No,
right?
they were very sweet. They warned me. They were like, we might come out to see it when you're there. And I was like, okay. They were so nice though. Yeah.
They had Abaddon eyes.
Abaddon eyes. Not Betty Davis eyes, Abaddon eyes.
No.
I mean, we were so delighted to see that it was going to be in theaters because it is like a really cool thing and it's also becoming more common in a good way that like lower budget independent horror is getting theatrical releases. Like I know the Terrifier franchise has been big with that, but even like we saw like The Jester Part 2, like smaller horror that the first film, let's say, was just straight to streaming, getting any sort of theatrical dates is really cool. And Hell House had like all over the country. So just a few final questions before we wrap up. This franchise has a huge fan base that's developed over the last like 10 years or so. How has your life changed since being in the Hell House films? Like, do you get contacted by fans a lot on social media?
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah, and they're always like really nice and just like kind, and so that's been really fun. For this one specifically, there was a lot more press than there was for Lake of Fire. So that's been really cool just to be able to talk to people who have podcasts and they're horror fans and made some like connections from that, which has been really fun. Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is that, based on that first movie, I've gotten to do 2 more with Steven and Joe and like work with so many amazing actors who were like wonderful. So yeah, just the whole thing has been like an incredibly positive, wonderful experience.
That's awesome. And why, in your personal opinion, do you think the Hell House franchise has become so beloved among horror fans?
I think there was something just like so special about the first one. Just the chemistry of those actors and those characters. And it's like such a smart idea that Steven had in the first place. Like it's so, I feel like sometimes people come up with ideas that are like so like good that it feels like, oh, why did no one ever come up with that before? I feel like that's kind of what that first movie was. And it's just like continued in such a fun way. And he's so good at like planting little Easter eggs for like fans of it to follow and like find something new every time. So yeah, I think that's why it's become something that's endured and lasted.
And and found footage isn't easy to do. Like, I mean, on the surface, I think for new filmmakers, it seems like an easier, lower budget, like quicker way of doing films. But we've seen a lot of found footage that is
not
crap.
Good.
And so like when you see like a Hell House LLC,
it's like,
it's, and it's so effective. Like that first movie was so effective. It really shines because like, yeah, like you can look at anybody can just put a camera on someone and say, oh, I'm doing a found footage film, but it doesn't mean it's quality.
Right. No, I love all the Hell House movies. What are you up today? Any new projects you're working on that you can tell us about?
Yeah, I have a few short films which should hopefully be out maybe early next year. And then there's a feature film, which is kind of like a psychological thriller sort of one that should be shooting early next year. And I actually have a friend who's a producer and writer, and he wanted to do a project together. So I've tried out like writing a little bit, which has been really fun and exciting, which I've never done before. So it's kind of scary, but not a horror film. It's like a little like rom-com sort of thing. Since, as we talked about, I have none of that because I'm just sad girl.
With a drinking
try
problem.
Being cute and happy.
No, that's really cool. But with that said, obviously, since we're a horror show, would you be up for doing more horror in the future? Like, even if it wasn't Hell House, would you be open to doing more horror?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's so fun. I really do like I love horror and I love being in horror movies. It's really like awesome. I mean, I love movies in general. So like, I want to do everything, but the horror has been awesome to be able to do and be a part of.
And it's the best fan
That's
bases.
right.
It
The film is
is.
Freddy's dead.
Yeah. No, there really is like a lot of we talk to people all the time on the show and they some people go to conventions and things, and I think the initial viewpoint before you've done a horror movie or gone to a convention is, oh, people who love horror, like there's got to be something messed up with them. But then they find out that horror fans are kind of some of the most loyal, nicest, and just most involved fans. And so, yeah, so I love bragging about horror fans.
Gives the fans a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Like, because with each film, there's new characters and like motives, and there's so much to discuss that like it hurts my brain.
Well, that's why there's so many. I don't know if you are on Facebook, but there's so many like Facebook chat or Facebook groups dedicated to this Hell House franchise, just dissecting everything. And I've got to say, like, for like a Steven or a Joe, it must be fun to just like hover and see people like talking about this thing that you guys created and picking apart every little thing and like wondering on stuff. But that's got to be so just like it's got to be so satisfying to see that,
Yeah, especially the ending, because it leaves doors open to be like people can go this way or that way, or like there's so many different paths that the ending takes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a more fun way to end a franchise personally. I mean, I know it's kind of abrupt, and it like leaves questions open, but I think that's kind of cool, especially if it's something that you've like loved since the beginning. It like keeps it open away and like your imagination, you get to imagine like where this could lead in the future. Yeah.
So we have one final question for you, Elizabeth, and we ask this to every single person that we interview, and it kind of puts you on the spot, but that's how we do it. What is just one thing that you can tell us about your experience working on either Hell House LLC 3 Lake of Fire or Hell House LLC Lineage that you've never told any other interviewer, publication, podcaster,
Joe,
YouTuber, and it doesn't have to be like the most salacious thing. It can just be anything, but just one thing about your experience working on either of these films that you've never told in an interview or to people.
You stole the clown costume.
I wish. That would be great. I don't know. Man, I don't know how interesting this is going to be or anything, but I don't think the scene at the drive-in was like I was the most excited to film that one. I thought it like looked really cool. It was going to be really awesome. It was like, and it was, but it was also like such a long, frustrating night because it was so technical with at the moment where I have to adjust the mirror to see the hand behind me. Took like 45 minutes or something because I'm adjusting it to an angle not so that I can see the hand, but so the camera in the seat behind me can see it. And I kept on getting it like just slightly off. And so that was frustrating. And then also when I jump out of the car and I'm kind of scurrying across the ground, they put down boards for me to scurry across so that I wouldn't damage my hands because it's gravel. And we did a bunch of takes with me screaming, scurrying across them. And then we realized you could hear the board sound in the audio. So then we filmed it a bunch more times with me just pretending to scream, just going like, ah, but like with no noise. And then at the end of it, I just had to scream into a microphone a whole bunch of times over and over again to try to put that together. So yeah, that was a long, weird night.
Wow. No, this is exactly the kind of stuff we love hearing. Like the things that you would maybe not bring up in just like a general interview, but the random behind the scenes things like, and so they dubbed your screaming over you pretending to scream.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to go back and watch.
I know. Now I want to go back.
Yeah.
And see
if I do a convincing job.
Wow.
Mouthing screams.
I can't. Yeah, that sounds like that would be frustrating.
So awkward. I mean, I know I have a microphone right in front of me, but just to scream into it without motivation.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're like, Joe, put the clown suit on. Jump out at me. Yeah. No, I mean that is tough, but I'm thinking about the moving the rear view mirror. Oh my God, I think I would go nuts if like I had to do that over and over again.
I felt so bad. I kept on just doing it slightly wrong, and I would practice like because I just had to eyeball where it should be around. And yeah, it was really hard to like get that spot on.
This is a dumb technical question, but I'm curious. If it's cold outside and the windows are up, how does it not steam? So did it steam up so like no one could see out?
No, I don't think it did. The car wasn't on, so I don't think it should steam up, right? Because we didn't have the air going through.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if it's really cold outside, depending on it, but it keeps. But the cars usually keep like heat inside. I don't know. You're asking a question I can't.
We possibly also had one window down for like the boom coming in.
Oh, that
I don't
probably
remember that
would
part
too.
that clearly.
And that would keep it from being fogged up. And
Yeah.
I'm so sorry I'm not Mr. Wizard.
She wasn't making out with the clown in the back.
That's in the next one, yeah.
Yeah, that's in the next one. Anyway, well, Elizabeth, we've had such a great time chatting with you. Thank you so much for coming on our show. We were so excited to talk with you. We're big fans of this franchise. We're big fans of yours, and we can't wait to see what you do next. So thank you so much for your time today.
Yes.
Thank you guys. It's been really fun.
And we wish you the best of luck and tons of success with this movie. Hope, again, people, if you have not seen it, it is on Shudder, and I'm sure that eventually it'll be on other places on streaming or where you can rent it and that kind of thing. So check out House LLC Lineage. And thank you so much, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Okay, take care.
Bye.
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 Thanks for listening to another episode of Happy Horror Time.
If you'd like to support the podcast, please sign up to be a patron at www.patreon.com/happyhorrortime. As a patron, you get access to all our bonus content, which now includes 2 new bonus episodes every month, a monthly after-show mini episode, access to our Discord community so you can chat with us directly, and the chance to review a film with us in one of our bonus episodes.
Patrons also get all our regular episodes ad-free and a day early, our monthly newsletter, the chance to vote in polls, and autographed Happy Horror Time stickers.
I'm Matt Emmert.
And I'm Tim Murdoch.
And we hope you have a happy horror time.